I don't know if any of you swims here or you're good swimmers, but of course, last weekend, Team Kenya put a very brave face in a Continental Championship. And of course, locally, we also had swimming events. Let's take a look at just that highlight of how it went down. And of course, that's the swimming there. I don't know, Master, I'll begin with you. This is regarded as one of the fringe sports in the country, but I still believe we have a lot of talents. We need to tap onto them. Yeah, probably, I don't know, your sentiments on this.
I think even themselves, they have a leadership problem.
Yes.
Yeah, they are not even, they were not even listed to vote at this NOC election. So as much as you want that nurturing of sports in swimming and exactly is an elite sport, yeah, in Kenya, yeah, but again, leadership problem is still there. It's something that needs to be sorted first, yeah, before we start looking for the talents as we go for the next Olympic in 2028.
And of course, for me, swimming should be a basic thing. And in Kenya, actually, it has become an elite sport because one, as we're saying, even access to swimming pools for the low class, the hoi polloi, is a problem. You know, you were born and bred in Nairobi. And you see, people who are bred in Mashinani, like probably Wakili here or Isia, they'll tell you they went to a public school where they're walking barefoot. Swimming pool is something they were just seeing on TV. If their parents were lucky enough to buy a TV set.
You see those...
So this really impedes talent growth and development.
Those who are born in Mashinani are the best swimmers. You see, they swim in rivers.
In rivers.
Yeah, where there is no control.
But this is not to everybody, unless probably you're coming from the shores of Lake Victoria. Somebody's coming from a dry land.
Most part of this country have rivers.
Vanzoya across Western.
Yeah.
So Sagana in Central.
I'll be very brief. It's true what he says. Swimming has experienced some leadership challenges, but I believe since 2019, I believe the leadership challenges will be sorted out. At some point, we were banned. Even during the 2020 and 2024 Olympics, our athletes who had qualified did not participate with the Kenyan flag. Our Kenyan flag was not hoisted high, as though we were having representatives. What happened? They featured in neutral colors. Yes. So the reason has been because of instability, and we were even banned internationally. Now, how can that be cured? Partly mannerisms. Our mannerisms when we want to get into leadership. And then secondly, now the legal aspect comes in, where we need stable decisions also, so that the decisions which are made, the membership can be able to bow to and respect some of these decisions. And lastly, why are we now calling it elitists? By the way, some of the leadership issues which have been faced, most of the parents who have agitated for their participants, like their children, to be allowed to go and participate, it is the parents who have been coming to support their children to get justice. For example, I'll tell you, the national selection of the last Olympics, it had been done sometimes in a manner which was not in accordance to the national selection rules. Also, there was a selection issue on the team manager. And parents, again, went to court to contest the conduct in which it had been done. We're not saying going to court, it's bad. I mean, if it's the only dispute resolution forum, where else do we want to go to? You can't go to Jehovah Wanyonyi. That is the only forum where you go to, which is proper.
You know, swimming is the only federation that parents of these kids swimming, they have a very good say.
Yes, sure, which is good as stakeholders. It's healthy for them.
Before we go to the
biggest sponsors.
Before we go to the Bundesliga, we are doing badly with the time. Shitera, I mean, is here very, very briefly. I still believe we are not managing our talent well, because even if you look at our representation at the highest level, those who've represented us actually foreigners, let me say, who have been naturalized Kenyans. Danford, for instance, has been our best swimmers. But if you look at the talents born, bred, nurtured in Kenya breaking to the top, this has been more of an uphill task.
That's what, number one, I want to say this, Wheeler. I want to congratulate the parents and the schools that at least have been making sure, amidst all this kind of turmoil, we have something happening in swimming. Like you mentioned, there are many boys and girls who are doing well in private schools, and within Nairobi, we are hearing competitions. For example, you just showed us what was happening the other day in Kiambu. That is actually the remaining light as far as swimming is concerned. There's a lot of hope, Swila, because I said, if we get the next president of NOC, I want to believe that if you are the boss, there should be a discussion all the time. What is happening within your federation? So that instead of every time we are in a qualifying time for the Olympics, there's always a dispute about how did these swimmers qualify, all that mess. I think it's possible that we can get the best from even the local ones. Because you had Master saying that parents sometimes they have a lot of say when it comes to some of the decisions of the federation. It's because it has shrunk to a very few men and women business. But like you say, there are many talented boys and girls and playing within school system and all that. The other day I was watching when the decision for Kakamega to host the school games was made. One of the major issues that was raised, especially for the East African school games, was a proper swimming pool. And I remember the governor, Fernandez, saying that they are collaborating with the Masinde Muliro University to make sure that the swimming pool will be ready. What class one for that? You understand? Even the facilities themselves.
Not even done with Bukumbu.
But I like that point you're bringing of swimming pool facilities. Even in Nyayo Stadium. When is the last time Nyayo Stadium had water and swimming beach?
Of course.
That's why
let's move on to the UEFA Champions League, and as stated